Okay, good morning, Lviv. This is day 4 of the Red Dawn, as we call it, the Russian invasion. So a lot of things happened yesterday to talk about. So first thing I want to talk about is we didn't have any air raid sirens this morning. I don't know if this is a good thing or bad thing. I know that in Kiev it's not going the way the Russians wanted it to go, and it's turning out that a lot of the soldiers from Russia are conscripts. The ones that were captured are conscripts and not professional soldiers. I don't know if this was like a first wave and then the professionals come in on the second one. I don't know what to expect, so it could be good news or bad news. Very cautious about that. There was a lot of talk yesterday and last 2 days about these markings, finding like fluorescent paint markings, like, of X's and, X's with circles on them, that were like 1 to 2 feet. I'm sorry, I'm not good in the centimeters thing. You can look that up on top of buildings and what have you. But I kind of question that because like bombs and munitions are usually guided by radio waves or they're guided by lasers, GSM even, a cell phone signal, or they're guided by GPS using like Uber, just like Uber or Lyft using Google Maps to find their destination. Yeah, yeah. So I don't know what this markings is. To me, this is just my view. It's a psychological warfare. There must be some intelligence operatives here or some sleepers paying people to go spray paint stuff and tie up the authorities, because I don't know how that would be seen from the air, even if it was fluorescent paint. These markings would have to be like very big, and then there would have to be like manual bomb sighting. Bombing doesn't work that way anymore. Either you just drop a dumb bomb in a general vicinity, you use some sites to target. But the people that they caught doing this, they were not the A team, that's for sure. I think it was like some teenage girls and alcoholics, from what I understand, were caught making these markings. So to me, it seems like more like a psychological warfare optic, just keep people off guard and keep people hysterical, which is a tactic. It just messes people's heads up. So if you have any opinions about that or any facts about that, drop it in the comments, because I'd like to know more about what this tactic is or what this is about, because I've never heard of this before. Next thing is we are talking about the SWIFT ban. It looks like they're working on it, but I think they just need to swiftly ban all Russians from the financial system until they can clear themselves that they're not laundering money for Putin, and make it really hard. I guarantee that'll raise the protests. The protests back in Russia will start surging, and even Russians abroad will start protesting, and Russian businessmen and all the people that are supporting the Russian economy through their taxes, and they will have a lot to say. Good news is Germany is finally waking up, that they are part of the Western world and part of an alliance, and they need to take a side. They can't straddle the fence, and they're giving us stingers and javelins. I'm kind of looking away because I had to make notes today. I can't freelance it anymore. It's a lot to say today. So yeah, we are getting 500 stingers from Germany, 200 from Netherlands. I think there were already some 50 were sent from Latvia. There was a YouTube video showing a stinger in action in Kherson region of Ukraine, taking down an Mi-28 helicopter. It was doing as advertised. I'm really excited about the stingers because, like in Afghanistan, it changed things very quickly. The Mujahideen was getting beat up from 1979 to 1986 for 7 years. They were just being slaughtered. In 1986, Charlie Wilson got them the Stinger missiles, and then within that year, things had changed. Russians lost 200 helicopters in a year. They were losing like one a day, a rate of like one a day or one a week or something in the beginning, and then it just accelerated. And then the pilots didn't want to fly. The Russian pilots were just like, we don't want to fly anymore. Screw this. And I think it would have the same psychological effect here, because once you take away the air support, it becomes a great equalizer. Then the 3-to-1 dynamic kicks in, where 3 invaders are needed for every 1 defender. If you take away the air support element, then the Ukraine home field advantage kicks in. So we really need to hope that these stingers get here quick and that they're all over the place. They're proliferated all over Ukraine and along the Belarusian border and everything. And it becomes like a very risky venture to fly. Now, was talking in a bar last night and got shot down that they should offer asylum to any Russian junior soldiers, like junior officers, junior enlisted, conscripts who surrender, give them asylum in a Western country. And then a Latvian politician, artist Pabriks, made a tweet saying, "I got an out-of-the-box idea." I don't know if he got that from me. I think I might have said that in a previous YouTube video, but I've been talking about this on posting this in chats and in Facebook groups and everything, and maybe he picked it up there. That you give them, because you can reach them on their cell phones. You can reach them, through Voice of America, through radio. You can drop leaflets that if they quit, they get asylum. They get a warm blanket and some hot chocolate and everything, and get a life in the West. I think they would like that. These guys are probably making $50 to $100 a month at best. So and they're not into it. My sense is like we're seeing a lot of news about, like I said earlier, that a lot of the soldiers they're capturing are very inexperienced and conscripts, and I don't know if the second wave will be the pros, but this would be very disruptive because this would obviously get to the professional soldiers as well, and maybe they could also be offered some kind of asylum if they're young, young enlisted or young officers, and that would really screw things up for the invaders. A scary thing that's been talked about too is a Chechnyan battalion, around 10,000 men, coming to Kiev to boost the Russian war effort. But then there's a conflicting video that a Chechnyan general was kind of hesitant about this. He saw that the Ukrainians were well equipped and didn't feel it was his war. I don't know if anyone has more information on that. I don't know if it's rumors. It's really hard to get proper information here. Everything is in snippets and Telegram channels, Facebook posts. It's Viber groups, just gossip from the neighbors. It's really hard to get vetted, confirmed journalistic information. I mean, CNN, BBC are mainly covering Kiev, and it's very, very superficial. It's very high level. We don't have much information, on the ground, what's happening, on a field level, because that's a pretty scary development, and the West better get its ass in gear and get more weapons over here, because that's crazy if that is true. So my opinion is like, okay, now the borders here are backed up like 12 to 24 hours, but my message to these people who are fleeing, even the women and stuff, everyone is needed to help. We had women nurses in the Civil War and running supply for every one soldier on the front line. 7 people are needed in the back to support their effort. So people are needed here to do everything from just working and paying taxes to driving, doing logistics support, blood donation, nurses, doctors, getting food logistics going, administration. All of this stuff is needed more than ever. So yes, it's scary and everything, but this is like a do or die situation. I mean, if you run from one problem, you're going to run from all the problems, and this is I think honestly, after hearing the news reports last night about how the Russians are slowed down in Kiev and Zelensky's staying and Klitschko's staying and even Poroshenko taking up uniform, I think we owe them to stay and to help in the back, as much as we can to bring supplies to the front and support to the front and do all we can, I don't know, that's just my opinion. Maybe you can all downvote me and hate my guts for saying that, but I think if any place to flee to the villages of Ukraine, and hide out there and prepare for like a Ukrainian Tet Offensive, regroup there, get supplies together, build some improvised weapons and what have you, and gather hunting rifles, everything you can, and prepare for some kind of offensive. Once all these Western gifts and everything get in here and get settled, and kind of regroup. I think that would have, I don't know, I would prefer to see something like that. Maybe the West could send financial support for that to boost up the economy of those villages, so that people can, dig in there and prepare. There's a lot of lessons from this, about insurgencies and, counteroffensives and rebel movements from recent wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, and the Vietnam War long back. Ironically, those people are on the opposite side of America, but they have a lot in common with the people who are on the opposite side of another superpower, Russia. I know it's not politically correct to say, but the lessons learned in the guerrilla warfare there are quite useful here, I think. So yeah, that's all I have today. I'm going to try to make the most of my day today and try to enjoy what I can, so, and hopefully we get through another 24 hours without any impacts or bombings. We didn't have any air raid sirens yesterday. Like I said, I don't know if that's good or bad, but we will see. Anyway, thank you, and I hope you can like and subscribe if you find this useful, and contact your Western leaders and tell them, 500 Stingers from Germany is just the beginning. We need many more. The helicopters have flare dispensers, so maybe 1 or 2 Stingers would go to waste before actually hitting the target. So we probably need a ratio of 3 to 1 to the amount of aircraft in theater the Russians have. So we need to get the Stingers to shoot down the helicopters and Su-25 close air support aircraft, and then the Army will go well. So really lobby hard for that and make your protest signs to say Stingers. We need Stingers. It's if you can do anything, if you're outside of Ukraine, write your congressman or whatever, that it's the single most important weapon in my opinion. I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but based on my reading of history and stuff, I think neutralizing the air support should be the top priority right now. Anyway, thank you, and bye-bye.